Gen Z, 1997 to 2012. Gen Z was born into chaos. 9/11, recession, climate anxiety, and the social media explosion. They're the first kids who grew up truly online. Their childhoods lived on Instagram. Their self-worth got tied to likes. They're anxious, meme literate, and digitally fluent, but also lonely, and way more self-aware than we give them credit for. They started to challenge the system: gender, race, politics, mental health. They brought therapy into the group chat. Now enter Gen Alpha, who looked at all of this and said, "Hold my juice box." Gen Alpha didn't just grow up with technology. They were born in it. Cue the Bane voice. This is the first generation to come home from the hospital and get their face posted on Instagram before they even had a name. The first to use voice commands before forming full sentences. The first to grow up during a time when you could literally say, "I learned that on TikTok." And no one blinks. Their reality is shaped by three major forces. 1. Touchscreens greater than textbooks. Most alphas knew how to swipe before they could speak. YouTube is their tutor, their babysitter, and sometimes their parent. Reading a book feels slow. Watching a 5-second video feels normal. And multitasking? That's their baseline, not a skill. 2nd, pandemic childhood. Let's not underestimate this. A huge chunk of their early years happened in isolation. FaceTime replaced playdates. Zoom became kindergarten. Parents were stressed, jobs were unstable, routines were chaos. Some kids thrived with the flexibility. Others, they're still catching up emotionally, academically, socially. 3. Emotional fluency plus infinite content. Gen Alpha is emotionally articulate in ways we weren't. They'll tell you they're overstimulated. They'll say they need space. They're tuned into identity, fairness, and mental health by age 6. But here's the twist. They're also constantly scrolling, constantly stimulated, and constantly comparing themselves to content that isn't real. So they're emotionally fluent, but often emotionally exhausted. They've got more access, more options, more awareness, and somehow less space to just be kids. They don't feel like any generation before them, because they're not. They're operating with a completely different code base, one we, as parents, didn't grow up with, and honestly, don't always understand. Here's the part where things get uncomfortable, but necessary, because if Gen Alpha is a new operating system, we're the ones who installed the software. And no, that doesn't mean we failed them. It means they're adapting to the environment we handed them, and they're doing it in real time, under a microscope, with algorithms feeding their brains more content before we've even finished our coffee. Think about it. We gave them the iPads, sometimes out of desperation, sometimes out of survival. We uploaded their baby pictures. We built the digital record of their lives. We kept working while sick, smiling while stressed, and calling that resilience. We joked about burnout while modeling it as normal. We asked them to express their feelings, but didn't always know how to handle them. We did what every generation before us did. We tried to do better with what we had. But this time, what we had was